first get into sports, you hear all kinds of advice on every possible topic, and you might assume that at the highest level, everyone agrees on the most important principles. And while that's partly true, there are still some areas where most experts disagree. With so much conflicting information, it's normal to wonder, who should I trust? Luckily, there is a simple method to bring some level of clarity, and that's exactly what I will be sharing with you today. The first thing to understand is that sport, especially at high level, is an enormous business built on performance. In leagues such as the NBA or the NFL, the performance of each player and each team influences billions of dollars every year. We're talking tickets and merchandise sales, broadcasting rights, sponsorships, everything. That's why coaches, athletic trainers, nutritionists, physios, and other staff carry a huge responsibility. If a strength coach experiments an unproven method and programs it poorly and ends up injuring LeBron James, for example, the financial loss would be astronomical. Or another example, imagine a nutritionist giving bad advice that lowers the performance of the entire Kansas City Chiefs team. Again, the financial impact could easily reach millions. Because of this, one thing you can be confident about is that the methods used at the highest level are not random. They've been tested and validated on countless lower level teams and players before being applied to the elite level. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the fundamentals have not changed much in years, sometimes even decades. So why does it feel like there's so much debate? The answer is trends. Take nutrition, for example. The fundamentals are extremely simple. Manage macronutrients and calories, avoid overprocessed junk, favorize whole foods, and add in some fruit and vegetables from time to time. Simple. But then you hear about vegetarian diet or vegan, but your best friend talks to you about intermittent fasting. But your favorite influencer only swears by keto. But your fitness coach tells you to try paleo. And suddenly you're drowning in an absurd amount of complex and restrictive diets, each claiming to be the best. Here's the truth. Unless you have a strong personal preference, then sticking with the basics is a perfectly solid choice. But if you want to try one of those new diets, go for it. It's absolutely fine. You're not a professional athlete generating millions every year, so I'd say the risks are low. The only catch is that many of those diets are relatively new. We don't yet have enough long-term perspective to know if they're really as effective as they claim to be, and that is where my tricks comes in. If you want to know which methods are proven, just look at what is being used at the highest level. If NFL nutritionists give their players meat and rice to bulk up since decades, it's because it works, there's a reason. If, the keto diet was magical, then every player would be using it. With millions on the line, they cannot gamble on untested ideas that might not be as effective or even worse, reduce performance. Now, let me be clear. I am not saying that you should reject every new trend that comes in the fitness world. If a method proves itself over time and becomes widely accepted, then yes, sure, take advantage of it. Progress is always valuable. But until then, stay skeptical. Don't follow every trend just because they're popular on social media. Finally, let's address one common argument, the idea that lobbies, especially in the US, influence sport methods with money. The reality is pretty simple. Performance is physiological and therefore cannot be bought. You can pay a staff to use a certain method or a certain product, but if it negatively impacts performance, nobody benefits from it, and this is something they understood a long time ago. So the bottom line, when in doubt, look at what's being done at the highest level. That's where performance and money collide, and only the most reliable methods survive. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, suggestions, or anything else, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you want to contact me straight through my social medias, the links are in the description. I'll see you next Sunday, and until then, train hard, stay consistent, and never forget, make yourself proud.